Oh, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 637 of FloWrestling Radio Live. I'm your host, Christian Piles, joined, as always, by the trifecta of Kyle Brackey, Oliver the Bear Astone, and Ben Funky Askren, or Funky Ben Askren. The order doesn't matter. Ben, what's up?
Well, I don't know if you guys know this or saw this, but I happened to have this really embarrassing boxing match last weekend with a YouTuber. Did not go the way I wanted to, and so I figured we'd just get that off the table right away.
Yeah, get it over with.
I did an interview with Helwani. He asked some pretty tough questions, so you guys are welcome to ask. And you know else who Kyle will be pumped about this. Kyle, you knew who else I did an interview with, and he was shitting on me Sunday, and I said, okay, let's bring the questions.
Yeah, I saw you did one with Portnoy, right?
Yeah. So
how was that? I didn't see. I listened to your aerial interview.
Yeah, it was good, man. Listen, I worked hard. I mean, but then he said I was 11 weeks. That was all I had, and I never really boxed in my life. So I did what I could for 11 weeks. And you guys know I don't look good. I never look good. And some people were holding that against me. And it's like, well, you must not have watched the rest of my career, because at no point did I look good. And this weight class was 20 pounds above any other weight class I've really competed at. So, you know, you're holding that against me, but that's not really fair.
Yeah, I think that was what annoyed me the most about the whole thing, because obviously it didn't go the way we wanted, and that sucked. But for me, it was like, you know, one, people asking if it was rigged, which I was like, you guys just don't know what this guy's about. And then did he even prepare? Did he even try to get ready? And that's what annoyed me most about it, because I knew the answer without any doubt. And it's just like, well, these people just don't know. They don't know Ben at all.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, the thing about the rig thing is, like, it's so dumb because, number one, I'm a man of integrity. There's not really an amount of money. But number two, if I beat Jake Paul's ass, nobody likes him, and I'm literally famous, and I could just do whatever the hell I want after that.
Yeah.
So the impetus to losing is there's just not there. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And you know, I was actually in the beginning I was nervous, because not like in the beginning when I started training, because I realized I sucked at boxing. I realized I was very out of shape because I hadn't done anything in 16 months. I mean, literally nothing. And then I started really catching on with it and getting better and better and better. And, you know, he was very uncomfortable around me. So then that made me think maybe he's not that good. And so I was actually, you know, going into the fight, I was really confident, like, okay, I'm going to smoke him. And then, you know, I had a big right hand, and that put me down. And we knew that was his best weapon. And I could not break my mixed martial arts habit. You know, I have my guard a little wider in mixed martial arts, because I actually want people to throw that punch in mixed martial arts, because I can get a relatively easy takedown off of that. And I couldn't break that habit.
Yeah. You know, you know, a couple of thoughts, but what was it like just being around that spectacle, that event? You had said to us a couple times on and off air, like, this is going to be a circus of sorts, and I had no idea. It was
more than I could have ever imagined, Christian.
Yeah, go ahead about the experience of being with the event.
Well, I mean, it was Triller's first time doing an event, and so the whole lead up was so stressful, because something changed every 3 days. But then, you know, when we actually get to the event, you know, I knew that there was gonna be some musical stuff a part of it, but right to everyone's annoyance, in the first 2 hours there was one fight, and a whole bunch of music, and a whole bunch of really raunchy music, to the point where I tweeted about it, because I was like mortified that I was thinking, like, what are my kids, the kids I coach, what are their parents having to explain to them right now? Because this is terrible, awkward. And then when the owner came in, well, one of the executive producer came in when I did the Pete Davidson interview, to the point where I had to tell him, like, bro, this is freaking gross. Like, man, I'm so embarrassed that kids that I coach are watching this. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's funny, because my mom was texting me, and she obviously, you know, roots for you and wants you. She was talking about getting the thing, and I was like, yeah, it's $50, but, you know, they're on the East Coast and, like, you know, old. So I was like, they're not gonna stay up. So they ended up not getting it. And then I'm like watching this thing. the whole time I'm like, I am so glad my mom did not get this thing.
Oh my gosh.
And so we had a bunch of people over, and like my wife and David Bray's wife were there watching it, and like all this distasteful stuff with the women, and we're just like standing there, and it's like, me and JD are like, all right, so there's fruit pizzas, we got wings, like you're just trying to like look distracted about, like not look at the TV. It's like, so it was it wasn't super. Yeah, it was sort of uncomfortable. Fortunately, our wives weren't as mortified as they could have been. But yeah, it was a crazy event. We were like dying laughing at how much happened with only one fight going down. That was crazy.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Did you have an idea of like the time frame you guys were going to be on? Like, did they have a schedule? Or, like, were you just sitting back there like, come on, let's go?
No, it changed. I didn't get there till 9 p.m. and they told me I was initially going to walk like 11:45, and then at like almost 11, it was like there's no fights. And I'm like, am I really going to walk in 45 minutes? Because that doesn't feel right. And then they pushed back to like 12:30. So they communicated fairly well on that. Yeah, that's way past my bedtime.
Yeah. Did you meet any of the musical acts? Like, I couldn't believe like they had E40 and Ice Cube. I saw you did an interview with Snoop Dogg.
Yeah, I didn't.
Who I now hate, by the way. I can't stand him.
Yeah, he did. What did he do? I didn't even.
Oh my gosh, he was so obnoxious. Obviously, I'm not gonna take that.
Shit on me, huh?
Super well. Well, he was just so screaming about how you got knocked out. Pay me my money, $2 million. He was like acting like every idiot in a casino sports book when their team wins, but like you have to listen to it when.
Yeah, I didn't even think about it, but someone brought to me the conflict of interest of someone who's the owner of this. Having a financial income, a financial interest in the outcome of a bout, like that's probably illegal in some way, shape, or form. I would have to guess.
I would assume so. It was certainly an odd
I was
look.
really let down on the Snoop Dogg interview thing I did. Man, we were up we had to go up to a hotel room, like one of those big penthouses with a whole bunch of rooms, and they had us kind of in one room, and we were waiting for him, and he was like an hour late, and he was obviously smoking like Snoop Dogg does.
Yeah.
And one of the workers for the hotel, because they were delivering food and all this stuff, whatever. And they said, "Hey man, you can't do that here." And he said he started cussing at F if I can. She said, "Listen, no one's gonna talk to me like that." Dude, then he cussed at her some more. She left. But then he came and sat down, and he would not shut up about how he wanted to punch this woman. And I'm thinking, like, you are not a good person. Like, he wouldn't stop talking about it. Like, I'm literally for 2 to 3 minutes talked about how he wanted to fight this girl. Unreal. It was insane. It was literally insane.
People of his status level, that's how a lot of them sort of view people that aren't maybe at their status or whatever. It's a weird psychological phenomenon. It's sad, but it's more pathetic than anything, but also not terribly surprising.
The one dude that I met that was uber famous through the whole process, that was like, this dude is he's kind of really awesome and just an amazing person, a lot of energy, was Mario Lopez. Like, I got to talk with him in LA, and I talked to him again. He's just like, man, like good person. And then I couldn't hear the whole broadcast, but it said like he was the only one acting semi-normal on there, is what my wife said.
So he actually, I think he knows martial arts and boxing and jiu-jitsu. He's kind of like a fan. Obviously, he was a wrestler as well. So he was like bringing actual insight into what was happening for the most part. But then the worst was they had this total sycophant dork true commentator that was like doing his best impersonation, but he's like just so enamored that he was sitting next to Snoop Dogg, like he could not be a total tool about it. So he was probably the worst. And then
what about De La Hoya?
Yeah, De La Hoya,
and he was
okay. Well, De La Hoya, listen,
he kept calling Steve Cunningham USSR.
Well, De La Hoya was completely. He looked like Papa John mid like binge. Like he was clearly inebriated. Like that's just a guy with like substance abuse problems. Whereas this dude was just a dork commentator that was just so happy to be sitting next to Snoop Dogg. He was just like, I'm just like a fawning fanboy sitting there. But yeah, but Mario was great. I think Mario is genuinely a pretty good person. So that's cool you had that experience. But it's funny because like the whole Snoop, I mean basically his whole brand is like, oh, I'm this chill like rapper guy and I'm cool and I'm calm, but like if you're cussing out hotel workers because they don't want to let you smoke weed in their hotel, like you're just a phony. Well, how like do you obviously you got hit pretty hard. Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good. I mean, yeah, I got up and I thought I was ready to fight again, and the referee told me I wasn't ready to fight again. But yeah, I was fine. And obviously once they told me I wasn't ready to fight, I'm like, okay, I don't need to be here anymore, and I just took off. And then I came home Sunday morning, and I'm good. I'm gonna coach. I took. Well, Sunday I was traveling. Last night I don't usually coach on Mondays, but starting to coach again tonight. And we want to talk about this big tournament this weekend. Actually, one of my favorites, U17s, and is now in Wisconsin this year because of Corona stuff, I guess. And we got a ton of good guys there, so I'm excited for you guys to tell me about all the other good guys coming in addition to mine, so we can do some battling.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Now you're bringing like a huge crew there, right?
I'm gonna look. As of yesterday, we had 22 registered, but I know there was a whole bunch that were not registered. And that's U17 and U15.
Right. So pretty big.
Actually, I really like the U15 division a lot because those 15-year-olds, even if they're really, really good, besides like the bottom two weight classes, it's so hard for them to compete against the 17-year-olds.
For sure.
It's just not fair.
Yeah, I mean the maturity level is so different. Even if they're the same weight. One last thing before we turn the page on this, hopefully forever, but probably not.
No, I think it's forever.
Yeah.
People forget about stuff fast.
Yes. Well, we will. What do you think? Were you surprised how, when you agreed to this, did you think it would reach the height, the pop culture relevance? Would that have changed if you had done it, if you had known it was going to be this big?
No. So I was I said this on Helwani yesterday, but it's like when you look at it, I told you guys there was, or him, or I don't know if we ever really fully discussed it. There was two main reasons I took the bout. Number one, they were offering me a lot of money. Number two, I thought it would be a good time to train and prepare and then go fight somebody. Because I love combat sports. And both of those things were true, right? I mostly had, if Trill would have been a little more organized, I probably would have had a great time. Their lack of organization made it a little more stressful than I would have liked. And I made a lot of money. And the negative, and this is what a lot of people were trying to tell me not to do it, and the only negative that anyone ever brought to the table was the potential for embarrassment. That is not a reason for me. I am not a coward. And that's one thing. It's like when you guys asked me to wrestle Jordan Burroughs. Listen, I went to Lincoln, Nebraska, and I trained with Jordan Burroughs for 4 days straight. I had a really good idea of what the outcome was going to be, but you guys asked me to wrestle Jordan Burroughs. And so I said, yeah, I'm going to take that opportunity. And so like when you can't present me with another reason besides, well, it could potentially be embarrassing. What other good reason was there? There's nothing. And so it's like, yeah, I'm going to do it. And obviously the biggest possible reason ended up happening. And as I told everyone, they may view it a different way. Man, life goes on. I'm going to go coach. I'm going to do my podcast this week. I'm going to go coach wrestling tonight, and my life's going to move on. And that's just how it goes.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, can you think of another negative?
No. I mean, they're no, not me personally.
Feel free.
No.
Feel free.
My only thing is the thing when after your Lawler fight, just candidly, I was like, I don't want to watch Ben do this anymore, even though you won, right? Because I was like, this is just, it's so dangerous. I mean, what he was, that was dangerous. Sure. You won, but it was very dangerous. And then the Masvidal thing, I was like, please just don't do this anymore. And, and then, so the only thing for me is head damage to your head, right? That was really, that's what I don't want you to endure anymore because your head is your biggest weapon, and it's why you are where you are in this world, in my opinion. So
that's one of those where I can't see how boxers do it full time, like for many, many years. They spar so much, and I did it because my thing was, hey, I'm only gonna be doing this for 11 weeks, so I might as well just go as hard as I can, and do it the best. But if these guys do this for years and years and years, like holy moly, that's lots of head trauma.
Yeah. So I didn't like that, and
Hey, Ben, what was the final hole? What'd you make? Let us know. Come on, give us the juice.
He said,
I made like 7 million Dogecoin.
Oh, did you buy in? No way.
I didn't know. I did not buy any Doge. I bought a lot of Bitcoin yesterday and today. I did buy just small. Don't tell the Bitcoin maximalists, but I did buy really small amounts of Uniswap, and what was the other one I bought? I'm blanking right now. I have to go look at my wallet.
Let me know, because I got a lot of Doge money that I'm looking to diversify.
Link.
Link?
Yeah.
Link and Uniswap, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think those will likely be the winners in DeFi, so decentralized finance, and then Link would be an Oracle solution.
Are those? I'm sorry. Are those other cryptocurrencies, or are they something else?
Well, they're cryptocurrency, but they have a purpose. Okay. So decentralized finance means where you don't need a third-party intermediary. Two people essentially trade with each other through liquidity pools, and Oracle solutions help bring other information to the blockchains.
Liquidity pools. Effectively. Bracken and I were just talking about liquidity pools this morning.
What's Dogecoin do?
Oh, man. Nothing. That's why I don't really like it. It's a distraction.
No, people love dogs. You're crazy.
I know. That's why it's a distraction. This is what I'm telling you. This is what I told Portnoy. Portnoy asked me about Dogecoin.
Honestly?
Did you give him crap back about Bitcoin?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, I actually said the reason he's going so hard in on me is because I've been harassing him about selling Bitcoin at 11,000 for months now. And he said, that's not the case. I actually really like you, and I like you crypto people. And then we, kept talking after that. And then we ended up talking about Bitcoin and Dogecoin. And Dogecoin, I think, is a distraction for. So, Ali, if you want me to really tell you, I think Bitcoin specifically, but so it brings freedom to humanity that humanity's never seen before if you really go deep and understand it. And I would like people to go deep and understand it. I think Dogecoin is this cute little dog, and people make memes of it, and it gets. It's a huge distraction from what the real purpose of crypto is.
I don't know, man. Did you ever see a dog and feel good inside? That's what Dogecoin does for people. And you're just like...
You weren't feeling as good when it was worth 0.07 cents, Ollie, just for the record.
What happened?
He's feeling good right now.
You weren't feeling that good when it was worth 0.07
But did I sell?
Cents. No, you didn't. Diamond hands.
Cash out.
You should cash out now, though. Did you cash out some? Be honest. Don't lie.
Nope.
Wow.
Diamond.
You're really riding this out.
Well, hey, I used that $50 when I bought Dogecoin, saying this is going to change my life. A couple $100 doesn't change my life.
Uh-oh.
Just wait until it's the same as Bitcoin, and I got 619 of them, some bitches. So.
Oh my gosh, you're ridiculous.
Can I say one more thing about Ben's fight?
No.
Just something that has been irking me since it ended is people trying to say this is gonna impact your legacy in wrestling, and I think that is unbelievably stupid. Considering this was a celebrity boxing match and had absolutely nothing to do with wrestling. It doesn't change what you did on the mat, the impact you had on the sport, and the impact you're going to continue to have with your academy. And I find it really hard to how these two things relate to one another. But I saw a lot of people say that on Twitter, like respectful people in wrestling. And that blew my mind. It's just unbelievably stupid.
I'll give you my opinion on that. So number one, I don't think legacies. I think legacy is actually a counterproductive thing for people to think about while they're in the moment. To think about how are people going to think about this 30 to 50 years from now. It's not a good thing to think about. And then number two, obviously, because I'm significantly opinionated, there's probably a lot of people in wrestling who don't really like me or want to see me fail. And I don't want to say I lived in a glass house, but I didn't have a lot of negatives, right? This is probably one of the biggest negatives of my life. And so the second they got the opportunity to throw a few rocks at that glass house, they did,
Yeah, I did see some of that. I mostly got off off of Twitter afterwards because I knew it would not be very pro Ben.
I just don't. I struggle to understand how this made wrestling look bad.
Well, they don't think that. They don't really think that. They're looking for some. It's just what Ben said. It's just they're looking for something to associate back to wrestling to take shots at Ben. They don't actually believe it. If they do, they have really low IQ.
Yes.
All right.
26 guys registered for this weekend.
Let's go.
UW, U15, U7. And then that'd be in the freestyle section. I know a handful of our guys are doing Greco, even though we don't do too much Greco.
You don't do.
Some of them are kind of really good at it, even though we don't practice a ton.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what to say. Did you watch the Ultimate Duels? No, of course not. But
I followed a little bit.
It was man. There ended up being a lot of hammers there. M2 ended up winning against Team Shut. They had a really close duel with Seabolt, I believe.
It was 1 point. Yeah.
I was not aware of these duels coming into the last couple weeks, and then they ended up having a ton of monsters there. But the biggest storyline out of it was Shane Van Ness taking 2 losses to Alanis and Chance Lamer, which I would not have expected. Did you watch any of the matches?
I didn't watch any of the matches. I saw those results, and listen, those guys are both really good.
Yes.
But the but is that, I mean, just last week we were talking about Shane Van Ness coming in and having an impact at the NCAA Division I level for Penn State, and that's this. So this isn't saying he's not going to be good. It's just saying, hey, he's probably not going to be that good that fast.
Right.
Is what it points to.
I don't know what it means exactly. I'll say I didn't watch the Lamer match. I know Chance Lamer's super good. But the Alanis match, I just thought you just saw in Shane, like, all right, he's really good. I thought he over-wrestled in some positions. And, like, once he was down that initial 4, I thought, he started to make some mistakes that I wouldn't have expected him to make. Mm-hmm. I am ultimately no more or less bullish on him as a D1 prospect.
But what about for next year?
I wonder. Part of me thinks he was at too low a weight wrestling down at 63. I feel like he's not a 63 kilogram guy.
Yeah, because you guys had him at one. Well, I don't know who made the list, but someone had him at 157 pounds.
I think he'll eventually. I think it's very reasonable that he'll get there at some point. I don't know about
63 is what's that? What weight is that, Christian?
Well, 139. It's like 139. 63 kilograms is 138.8. Okay. So that's light. I think he's probably a 49.57. Yeah. He wrestled at 65 at the last chance qualifier. So I don't know. Maybe it was the weight. Maybe, but I'm not trying to make an excuse for why he lost. That's a theory. There's theories, right?
Yeah.
I don't think over the long term, Ben Alanis is going to be better than Shane Van Ness. So I have to look for other reasons for why that loss may have happened. Chance Lamer, it remains to be seen. He's really, really good.
Yes.
And Alanis is a honey badger. This is a guy who, when Shane ironically, when Shane was out at Who's Number 1, Alanis wanted in, but he knew he didn't have like the ranking credentials to get in. So he saw that Jesse Mendez was entered in a tournament some weeks before, and so he like booked a ticket to go there and hopefully beat Mendez so he could get on Who's Number 1. He lost, I think, in overtime.
He went to sudden victory. Yeah.
Went to sudden victory, but lost to Mendez. So that's just kind of his mentality. So I kind of, and he's going to Northern Colorado, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
What is Alanis ranked right now, currently?
He's 86 on the big board. I don't know weight-wise what he's
that big board hasn't been updated in a long time, too, so he's obviously going to move up. I'm not sure.
Hey, you know who a big surprise from? I meant to bring this up back when it happened. Because I just clicked on the high school rankings. You do not have him ranked at 145.
He's at 138. He's 9th.
Okay, a kid who he jumped way up in your rankings. Hunter Garvin, I had no idea he was so good. Dude, he had a crazy path at USA Folkstyle Nationals, and he was really impressive.
I don't know much about Hunter Garvin.
Yeah, but he's all the way up to number 4. I'm gonna read this path for you to winning Folkstyle Nationals.
Okay.
Give me 1 second. Folkstyle Nationals. Here we go. Okay. So second round he had Tommy Curran, who he came when Illinois was closed. He came up a little bit this summer. He's very good. He ended up placing his tournament, and I want to say committed to maybe UNC. Then the next round he had Alec Martin from St. Paris, who's really, really freaking good. And then he actually had 2 of my kids, which is why I was paying attention so closely. So he had a kid named Josh Turba, and then he had a kid named Cash Stewart, who they're both really tough. And then in the finals, he had Jordan Williams, who's really good. So I mean, his path was like really, really good.
Man, that is super impressive. Is he wrestling this week? Or is he a junior? Junior eligible?
So he's a junior in high school, which means if they're an old junior, they're going to be too old. If they're a young junior, they can wrestle.
Got it.
So,
Got it.
I don't know which one he is.
Understood. Okay, so that was any other notable results from Ultimate Duels? Who was it that lost? Was it Feldman?
I'm not sure.
Nick Feldman?
No, not Nick Feldman.
Who did he lose to?
Christian Carroll lost. Christian Carroll. That was a pretty big surprise. I believe I got that right. So where to next? We can talk
U17s.
Yeah, U15, U17s. Excited for this event. It's at the Dells, and we've been talking a lot about this tournament and just what a launching point it is for so many of wrestling's current superstars, especially now you think about Gable, Dayton, Spencer. Even I remember David Carr wrestling here and all these other guys. So it's a RBY
was always there.
Yes. So it's an awesome tournament, and you're going to see a ton of these guys wrestling at the Division I level and winning national titles. So looking at some of the tougher weights, talking with Bray, 51 and 55 look like the 2 toughest. 51 having Mark Anthony McGowan, Nate Jessaroga, Vinny Kilcary, among others. Really tough weight class. 55, Cale Hughes, Corey Land, Mason Gibson, who's a guy we've talked about a ton, among others. What?
Hey, so where are you guys seeing this? The roster of like really good guys. Do you have a list for me?
I will put it in the doc for you.
Okay, cool. I was gonna say 'cause I can't follow along.
There you go.
Those
are basically all the entries. So there's other names in there as well.
Yeah.
Our guys, Sam Herring's in the mix.
He's pretty good. I saw him at a tournament this winter. He was at. It was kind of annoying because Wisconsin High School Wrestling was happening, but there was a 15U tournament, which means freshmen can be in there, and he was, I was on a Pennsylvania team maybe, and they freaking murdered everybody.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, Sam's very tough. I'm excited to watch this Bo Bassett. Have you been hearing about this guy?
Yeah, Bo Bassett. One time he cheated on a count on me when we did a workout together like 4 years ago.
Cheated on a count? What does that mean?
His dad's got that workout facility, and I taught it to camp at Young Guns with Jody. And I said, hey, I need to get a workout in or something. I think I was actually retired, but I just wanted to get a workout in because I like working out. And so Will, what's his dad's name right now? I'm blanking right now.
I'm not sure.
His dad. Okay, Bo and Keegan's dad. I think it's Will, but forgive me if I'm wrong. Bill, it's Bill. That's what it is. So anyways, I said, hey, can you go open it up, so I can get a workout in, And I said, yeah, let's go. And so his kids worked out with me. Bo, and this is 2000, I don't know, a long time ago, 17 maybe, something to that effect.
So he's nine, he's about 9 or 10 at that point.
Yeah, he's a long time ago. And so, we were doing box jump and rope climbing. They were really good for their age, but I kept messing with them that they were cheating on the count. They weren't doing as many as we were supposed to be doing in the workout. And they they were getting so mad. And I was laughing so hard, because they're like, I want to say 9 and 10 or something to that effect. But yeah, their dad's got a really cool setup there. He does the what is it called? The compound, which is confusing because I know there's a compound in Georgia also, but it's not the same thing.
Everyone just names their thing compound.
Yeah,
it's a big thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. So that's.
I mean, I've heard a lot of people name their club's compound or whatever. Yeah, it just sounds cool, which it does. It sounds awesome.
It does sound kind of cool. So yeah, so I worked out with them, and Jody, not to put any pressure on these kids, I hate saying this type of stuff, but Jody said, man, these kids kind of, I feel like I'm going to have them coming along in a few years, and they're going to be pretty special.
Well, it's funny you say that, because when I went to Pennsylvania for Spencer Lee and Gavin Teasdale's commitment,
secret
commitment.
Yes, this would be like the exact same time.
Yes, so this was 2016, like April 2016, and I go to a Young Guns practice. I'm shooting some of that. I'm just shooting Spencer and Gavin like after the commitment, and Jody's like, "Hey, you should interview this kid, Bo Bassett. You just interview him. He's probably going to be really good." So I did an interview with him. He's 9 at this point in 3rd grade, and it's kind of funny now looking back that I know for a fact I didn't think anything of that. I'm like, but Jody obviously.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't watch him wrestle.
When Jody says something, you think of who Jody's had come through his club. When Jody says something, you're like,
I know,
okay.
But I know it's not that I didn't believe him. It's just, I didn't watch him wrestle or anything. If I did, I probably would have saw he was unbelievable. But to me, all I saw was a 3rd grader, just a kid with, his teeth he had like new teeth coming in, and it's like, I'm not around youth wrestling, especially at that point. I was around no youth wrestling to even think about a kid being that good at wrestling so young. Mm-hmm. But certainly Jody knows the signals better than I do. So it's kind of funny looking back on that interview. And now, it just seems, and I watched this kid. So Mike I forget what that event was in New Jersey, but Mike shot one of Bo's matches, and he's ridiculous. So it's hard to imagine a scenario where we're not talking about Bo Bassett for the next 5 to 10 years in his wrestling career, right? He's only what grade is he in now? Is he an 8th grader?
I want to say once. Well, so Bo's the older one, then Keegan's the younger one. That's correct?
Yes.
Yeah. For a while.
Bo did not wrestle like Pennsylvania States or anything. So I'm sure he's an 8th grader.
Yeah, I did disagree with their dad strongly. He had the thing like make him good as soon as possible, which is kind of a little bit the opposite of how I think about things. That we're going to be good eventually if we just do all the right things. And but at the same time, like he's really smart and well balanced, and his arguments are well thought out. So I respect the way he thinks about things. And he is doing with his kids, and then they've gotten a whole bunch of other kids to now move into. What is their high school that they're all going to go
Forest
to?
Hills.
No, that's the middle school. It's
Isn't it?
It's a Bishop McCourt, right?
McCourt. Oh, okay.
Bishop McCourt.
What's Forest Hills? Is that the name of the school district?
I want to say that's the middle school that they go to, right?
I mean, there's a Forest Hills High School, but I don't know if they're going to go there.
Okay, I think they're going to Bishop McCourt, but
I do too.
He's got a lot of people to buy in to the the philosophy of the thing, and so.
I was in 7th grade, by the way.
Okay. But didn't Sam Herring move there from like Tennessee?
He did.
So they're getting kids all the way in from Tennessee.
Yeah, this is what happens. People want to I understand it. So okay, well, now that you brought it up about Bo's dad and kind of his opinions on development, what is the counterpoint to getting a kid good early?
So the counterpoint would be that his dad, and whether he knows it or not, has a really good understanding of sports psychology and the way to speed to kids and the way to talk to kids, and that type of thing. And obviously, he's kind of been able to control the environment since birth, right? Because he's their father. Right. Whereas when we get a kid or kids in, I will be able to control Ozzy's development all the way, right? And other kids, you don't know what they've been into. So essentially, my take on the whole thing is I'm trying to provide wrestling to as many people as possible. And then as they get older, I'm going to, try to turn it up on them. But in those early ages, it's like the frog in the pot of water. If it's boiling right away, the frog's going to jump out. But if you slowly turn it up, then you get to cook the frog. And so that's kind of my whole take on it, is if these kids come in right away, and this is my take on why wrestling, has a 59% retention rate, is because they throw the kids into boiling water. But if you just slowly cook them, you can get them bought into the sport of wrestling, and then they can have, ultimate success eventually. And you also keep more kids around, and they have a great experience. And the thing we all talk about wrestling, but most youth coaches want to neglect it, is the fact that we all say the things that you get out of wrestling that are most valuable aren't the trophies. It's the work ethic, it's the discipline, it's the self-reliance, it's all these things. And so my goal is to give as many kids as possible those experiences, and then obviously, hopefully, have eventually some of them be really great.
So your thought, I mean, I've always understood your basic perspective is like, there's too much burnout early with these kids and they don't like it. But I guess you're saying there's exceptions in that you can develop the love of the sport and high level skill with some, but it needs to be what, sort of controlled by the parent more so than them dropped in an environment?
Yeah. So like, for example, my kid, and again, this comes from the parents, right? Every kid doesn't have the same experience growing up. So when some kid comes in at age 8 or age 10, and they may be done like a year or two at their local youth club, and they're just not that tough, they're not very good at wrestling. If you just say go and you wrestle live for 45 minutes, they're going to say, I don't want to give all my secrets away for our club, but we have this app that the first time someone comes in and visits, it sends a text message that, hey, this is Ben. How was your first day? Type of thing, right? And we had a kid the other day that said, hey, well, it was mostly really good. Your coach did a great job, but then they got paired with someone and he hated it. He doesn't want to come back. And it's like, we literally did like four minutes of live wrestling that day, like with our little kids class. That's what we do. And the kid hated it. Now think about if that was 30 minutes. They really are, so they're going to come back, but it wasn't a good experience. So, but like would say the Bassetts, like I'm sure their dad, and I know this of my kids, they're a little tougher because I've asked them to do hard things, and I roughhouse with them around the house. I could get physical with them and whatnot. And so then when they're dropped into that environment, it's a little tougher. They're going to be significantly more prepared for it. And then if they have that hard day someday when I actually really start turning it up on them, I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there to say, hey, it's fine. Listen, that stuff happens sometimes. It's no big deal. And a lot of parents don't know how to do that to their kids. And I'm saying whether Mr. Bassett knows it or not, like I saw him conveying those messages to his kids when I spent time with them.
Yeah.
And just I saw him parenting the right way. And not all kids have that experience. So that's kind of my whole take on it. And then, so then if I take that a step further, the other thing I see about this is a kid like Connor Thorpe. He literally never stepped on a wrestling mat till he was in the 6th grade, and even at that point, he was significantly overweight and very unathletic. And now, over the course of the time, like he's going Division I. He's won a state title. He's placed in the top 3 all 4 times. He's placed at Folkstyle Nationals. Like he's really good, and that was accomplished over the course of 6 years. That was it. So we don't have to start that early. We can do it later.
A counterpoint to your point.
Go for it.
Not really a counterpoint, I guess, because your point still holds, but not everyone is in the environment that, or even has the. I'm just thinking about my son basically right now, and
yeah, go for it.
He just is not going to have the access to a club like your club or coaches like your coaches, and so. I can see how some parents can be like, okay, well, I got to get my kid some more because, I watch Caleb practice and I watch, things, and I know I have a hard time not being the dad that's a former coach. It's like, I know what he's not doing right, and I want to get in there and I want to talk to him, and I just sit there and just kind of letting
I don't think there's anything wrong with you trying to talk to him. I mean, especially if it's the right way.
Well, no, you don't understand. I want to get up out of my chair and walk over there and tell him to get his hands down and stop reaching and stop, the mistakes he's making. I want to correct them right there. And I know like at the end of a practice, he is like, he's done. Like he's ready to talk about the Astros and like,
oh, well, then you got to let him go.
Yeah. So I'm like, I'll talk about it, and I'll wait a day, and then we'll talk about it. And he remembers everything, so we can have a decent conversation about things and go over it. But I can understand why parents, especially if you know what good looks like, good wrestling looks like, and you know what bad wrestling looks like, you're like, okay, I want to get more involved and take those steps. And that's me, who absolutely knows like the destructive path that's going to make a kid hate wrestling. Yeah. And trying to avoid that. So it's a tough balance trick. So my point is, like, not everyone has access to the things that you have. If I could just send my kid to your place, it'd be a lot different.
You can. I mean, eventually people will start moving here. I mean, we really haven't had anyone move in to this point. But, you know, when they start seeing what Keegan's doing and what Parker's doing, and then we have this I believe we have this tidal wave of really, really good kids coming. I believe they will start moving here, which will then just add to the tidal wave.
Yeah, well, I will not be moving to Wisconsin, unfortunately. You need to move. No.
You move here.
But do a Mark Perry and just send Caleb there.
I just send Caleb there for.
I don't see how like what, but you starting them early. If there's no access to anything early, how's that going to help? Whether it's, you don't see what I'm saying? Like, if there's no access, there's no access. But I actually think you do have access. Like, if I were you, I would pay Kyle Bradkey to do like a private lesson once a week with Caleb, and you know, maybe you'll get a few more good wrestlers along the way come in, you know, and just do that kind of thing, and maybe eventually you build a club out of it.
I've actually thought about that.
What about me? I'll get him on the heavyweight hand fighting
He'll teach him the techniques, the small finite details of heavyweight hand fighting.
And then Ben said he's not that big, but that's a part of it. The Ali bulk drop, mac and cheese, will have it flowing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
If my son got big, that'd be hilarious.
You get him Bader's gas tank.
Bader's gas tank, Ollie's hand fighting, Bracky's competitive spirit. Yeah.
JD's mustache.
Spade's
haunch power.
Oh my gosh, we could build the perfect wrestler.
If he had Spade's haunch power, it's over.
Here's the funny thing. He's got the haunch power. He got
that?
He's got huge freaking legs. His baseball pants, we have to like get a size up that doesn't make sense. It looks like he's wearing freaking spandex. They're so tight around him.
That's too funny.
He got powerful haunches.
So he's ready to become a heavyweight.
He really is.
It's like when it's like a puppy when you see they got big paws. It's like, he's gonna do some growing.
Yeah, he's got giant legs. Anyway, yeah, we'll turn up the heat on Caleb soon enough. First thing we gotta get.
I feel like we might be boring people with our discussion of how to get good at wrestling or
most of the people. Well, I don't care. Most of the people.
Are you think they might want to listen?
Well,
people are very interested in this topic. I know each time we talk about it, we get a lot of questions about it and feedback.
Well, think about it, Ben. Many of the people listening have kids or have somewhat of an interest in development. Also, it's not me talking from an expert perspective. It is an actual expert talking about coaching expertise and having a perspective that is unique. So I think that it's interesting.
Well, I mean, and give me a few more years, and I think obviously Parker and Keegan kind of kicked down the door for us a little bit with the success they had this year. But I think a lot of people are still skeptical of the approach that we have here. But like I said, I think there's this kind of tidal wave of kids coming, and you know, we're gonna have a lot of kids. I think we had 5 Division I NCAA qualifiers this year. I was hoping we'd have 6 or 7. And then I think it's just going to they were all freshmen or sophomores. So I think it's just going to keep expanding in the next few years.
I know a decent amount Keegan and his development. What was Parker's path kind of like?
Parker was terrible.
Good. Nice.
This guy, he never won a U State title. But he was really into baseball until I want to say 7th or 8th grade. He took 4th place at the state tournament in 8th grade. Not very good. Right, for a U State tournament. And then freshman year, he placed in high school, so he took like 6th, I think. So he was like really starting to like get better at that point. But then even then, he still never placed at a national tournament. I want to say he was like, I think he lost to Jeremiah, and he always lost to Jeremiah, Kent, Aaron Brooks constantly. So I don't think he ever plays at UWW Cadets. So to that point, you're already 17 by the time you don't place there. And then I think the next year after that was, I believe, his breakout year. So I think he placed at juniors, and then obviously placed at UWW juniors. So I think that was kind of like his breakout came when he was an 18-year-old, I believe.
So what are there certain kids that need that if they don't have that early success or early development that you think maybe they just might never make it to the top, or are there some that, because like some of the, like Keegan and Parker are like, I guess you could say, quote, slow developers, but maybe that's not really true. But are there some that need that early push to get to the next level?
I don't see it, and I don't think so. I know other people hold contrasting viewpoints, but I think we can point at enough arguments to say, like, that if you're good early, you can be good late, but you don't have to be good early to be good late. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like whether you're good or not when you're younger, you still can be good later. And I really think, and not that we can run multiple experiments in the same kid, but I think lots of those kids who have certain qualities or in certain environments, even if they wouldn't have had success early, they probably still would have had success later.
You just need to do human experiments on identical twins. That's as close as you can possibly get.
We have these identical twins that are freshmen that are savages. You're going to see them this weekend.
Oh, really?
Experiment. Let's start experimenting.
Start experimenting with them.
Yeah.
They won state as a freshman at 170. They beat one. Well, they beat one.
170 in high school state?
Yeah, and they beat one of our kids in the semis who was really good, and then they beat another one of our kids in the finals who was really good. We had 5 or 6 places.
They wrestled together as a unit?
What are their names?
How did they both beat these kids?
Cole and Connor Mirasola. They did not wrestle. The other one wrestled 182 because he couldn't wrestle 170 because his brother was there, because they're twins on the same team, Ollie. But they're really good. They work their butts off. Pretty sharp. Yeah,
they're gonna be big, I guess, huh?
Yeah, I mean, 170, 182 as a freshman, yeah.
Jeez. Well, if they need some hand fighting details, gotta bring them on through to Ollie's hand fighting.
What are you
Max,
waiting
Max
for?
loves hand fighting. Max loves hand fighting.
Really?
Yeah, uh-huh.
Oh, I guess you don't need me then.
Wow. Fine.
Really shut me down on
all
that
he's
one.
trying to do is help.
Yeah.
You're the tech expert, Ollie.
All right. Yeah, we'll move Ollie to Wisconsin. No, we have those two. They're freshmen. We have a ton of good kids at specifically, I think 71 kilograms and 80 kilograms. I think we're going to have like in those two weight classes, I think we have like 8 or 9 kids who I think will probably eventually go D1.
Oh, wow. Dang, man. Well, I think it's funny how you're like, how you're kind of slow playing yourself. Like maybe in 4 years I can talk authoritatively about things. It's kind of funny because it's like,
well, I want to be the best before I talk authoritatively. Otherwise, there's too many counterpoints.
Yeah, I guess. I think it's in my opinion, it's sort of established. But your humility is, yeah, I like it. So
we got to talk some more about these weight classes because I want to hear, especially like those 2 weight classes I talked about. Actually, at 60, our best kid at 60 is Grayson Clark. He's really good. He won the Folkstyle Nationals. So who are some really good kids there?
Well, Ryder Block is the one that stands out to me. He beat Drake Ayala this year in the regular season before losing to Drake at the Iowa State tournament. What do you know about Jace Roller? I mean, I assume of the
gotta be Shane's kid, right?
Gotta be, right?
It is, yeah.
I think I might have covered him a bit on one of my Reno trips.
He's been, if I remember correctly, he's been in and out of the rankings. He's obviously won a bunch of the roller events, which has all these kids at it when they're younger. Yeah, he's a stud.
Mm-hmm.
Bo Mantanona, aka Bo Montana. He's in the mix. He's the brother of
That's gotta be
Anthony and
Ant-Man.
Okay. Ant-Man,
Little
Troy,
Ant-Man.
and Troy Ant-Man. This is the tiny ant man. So those guys stick out. JJ McComas.
Oh, Angelo Ferrari's the next weight.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I thought so. You didn't have a space there, so I thought that was that weight class.
Mission operation.
If you refresh, that should be fixed now, Ben. I noticed that when we were going through it.
Meyer Shapiro. I know him. Pearson Manville, our boy.
Mm-hmm.
I remember. What year was that? Like it was literally 2014 or 15.
Yeah,
it would have had to been 2015. But Pearson, we were like at Fargo. We just like sat on the stage and worked from there. And Pearson was running around. I think
he was the mat tapper.
He was a tapper,
and he would just come over and sit and talk with us whenever he wasn't tapping,
chugging Mountain Dew. Yeah, just like just a funny little kid. Now it's funny. He's like 65 kilo. I know our guy Jude Swisher is going to be in the mix at 65 because I talked to him yesterday. So he's not registered.
He's not on the list though.
I know, but that just speaks to registrations are not full at this point in time.
So
yeah,
we're at 310 people for Cadet Freestyle. How much? I mean, like, what are they expecting? How much bigger is it going to get?
I bet you add another 100 or so. I would think.
Yeah.
So should be a pretty. I think it'll be pretty competitive.
65. I'm noticing some other kids. So Micah Hanau, he's really tough. We've competed against him some. Logan Swaw, SWAW, and Lars Michelson. Those guys are both really tough. I know we've competed against them a whole bunch.
Okay. Micah Hanau. I'm not familiar with him, but I guess I'm
pretty sure he's a Donahoe kid.
Oh, okay. Yeah. They got a lot of hammers. So yeah, it should be exciting. We have a bunch of preview content set to come out about that, about cadets and U15s. U15's a new sort of age group or whatever that used to not be attached to Askren.
I want to say it's like 4 years old.
Yeah.
Right? Or 3 years old?
I guess I've never been in a tournament with U15.
I want to say, so maybe it's only 2 years old. You know, because I know Grayson Clark, I believe, made a 15U team, and that was, I think, the first year they decided to do it. So maybe that was only 2 years ago.
Okay. Yeah.
So I like that.
It's pretty new.
Yeah, 15U, that's the older 8th graders or younger 9th graders, essentially. And like I said, those guys, besides the smaller couple weight classes, generally those guys can't compete against really compete very well against 17-year-olds. 17-year-olds are just too mature or too strong.
Yeah. Why isn't our man Sam Herring at U15? He's definitely U15. Seems like
he's not in high school. He'd have to be unless he. The only way if you're not in high school, the only way you're not U15 is if you did a double red shirt and you're
wrestle cadets.
8th grader.
Okay, so it's just.
I don't know. That's what I would imagine it is. Let's wrestle cadets.
I mean, why? Yeah, I would think just try to make the team, because I mean, once you make one of these teams, you start having access to more resources and getting more opportunities from USA Wrestling. So I've advised any of my guys who have the ability to wrestle their age division.
Yes, I advise all children to try to make the team if you can.
Yeah, who else was I going to tell you? I had someone else in mind to tell you guys about. Oh, I remember who I was going to ask you guys about, because I do not see him. Oh, he is. Man, I must have missed him. I was going to ask about Gabe Arnold, because that's that weight we have the couple tough kids at. And I believe he's probably the best of the best at that weight class, right?
Yeah, I mean, what is he on the big board? He's like top 5 on the big board.
He's really good.
Yeah, he's really good.
Jaden's cousin, I believe.
I think they're cousins, yeah.
Yeah, he's super good. I would be surprised if he has any real challenge here in this tournament. He's kind of separated himself, but I don't know. I mean, I know obviously way more about college and international than I do the high school ranks.
Yeah.
But I've watched Gabe Arnold, and it seems like he'll be a pretty tremendous favorite here.
He's very good.
Yes, indeed.
Number 2 currently on the big board.
Number 2 behind Cody Chittum.
As sophomores.
Yes. Sophomore big board. Class of 23. So yeah, he's gonna be one of the guys. Okay, so hey, we'll talk more about cadets tomorrow, I'm sure. But we talked about this Dustin Kilgore-Logan Brown match. And
oh my goodness.
My memory was just, this is the chippiest, dirtiest match of all time. But sometimes, you can romanticize things or, remember incorrectly or it's maybe worse than I remembered how bad it was.
Hold on. Someone had a great answer to what we struggled with on, I don't know if it was Thursday or Wednesday or when the heck it was. The opposite of recency bias. And someone says nostalgia. And I believe that's the correct answer. We did not come up with that.
No,
someone
came up with primacy effect is what it is. Primacy. Because nostalgia is like...
Really?
So recency bias is just that. Because something happened more recently, you are biased to think that thing is going to happen again. But that's not what nostalgia is. Nostalgia is like longing for something, a time in the past. Like I'm nostalgic for the time before the internet and before everyone was just looking at their phones. So primacy
I feel
effect,
like that's right. I feel like people are nostalgic about how good people were in their era. Like it's your era, so you're nostalgic about the era, and it's so much better. And I feel like you kind of give it a boost. So I thought that was right. Let's hear about primacy effect.
So the primacy effect is exactly this. It is the tendency to remember the first piece of information we encounter better than the information presented later on. That's exactly what that means. That's not what nostalgia. That's not what nostalgia means.
Yeah, I felt like nostalgia fits because I feel like people do get nostalgic about the eras they were in, but I think that works. Primacy works also.
You know who hit us up about that, Ben, don't you?
I forget.
Matt Pallas, the former All-American at Indiana. He's professor of psychology now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I heard somebody else say the opposite was the gambler's fallacy, though.
What's the gambler's fallacy?
The gambler's fallacy is, I'm reading, it's like the next dice roll is more than likely to be 6 because there hasn't been that many 6s. That type of thing. Like, oh, it's due.
It's due.
So one of those things like, oh, a winning streak's going on. It's not recency bias because I think they're going to win again. I think they're going to lose because they've been doing so much of that. So
I think you just want to talk about gambling personally.
I don't. I saw a tweet. I want to give the man. I don't remember who at all who tweeted it, but I wanted to bring up that point because if he's watching, he's thinking, no, gambler's fallacy.
I don't feel like it is gambler's fallacy. I feel like what we were talking about was our ability, or maybe not ability, but us remembering stuff that happened in the past as better than what it was. That's what we were talking about, right, Christian or Kyle?
Yes.
Okay.
Which,
all right, nostalgia,
make me have to be
primacy
some gambling
effect,
degenerate.
gambler's fallacy, something like that.
It was just March Madness.
Did by Dogecoin.
Well, that's going to change my life. That's not a gamble.
It could.
It's the surest thing there is.
Oh, God.
What are you up to now? How much money do you have in Doge? And then we'll watch Logan Brown stab.
I don't even know if I don't know if the whole gimmick is real that he's been talking about. I'm still not sure.
You want to see? I don't see. I would just show you my thing. I don't know if like somebody could steal all my info.
Wasn't it yesterday Doge Day or something?
Today is Doge Day.
No, today's 4th Slime.
Stop.
And they tried to make it the same.
Can't make it the same. You gotta have your own day.
Yeah, get your own day.
We're getting Blaze baked today. We're not doing Doge today.
Yeah.
Well, oh my God, Kyle, this is child-friendly programming. What do you think this is?
Hey, you talked about. Only one of us has talked about their marijuana experience on this show. Of course, yours was accidental.
I went from $50 to $240 of equity.
How much?
Nice.
Ollie?
See, now you're believing in me. I'll tell you what.
You should have invested a little more, but
you see this. Zoom in on that.
We're getting tight.
Oh, no.
Oh, wow.
Look at that.
We see
That's
it.
Doge. Up and to the left, baby.
That looks like
that's like straight
right?
up. It's like vertical.
Well, up and to the right. I know all about stocks and directions and left and rights and stuff. That's 3 months.
Oh, God, Ollie.
He said up and to the left. All right.
I thought there was a mirror thing going on. Selfies.
I think we should start having a section called financial advice with Oliver Stone.
Well, I also need help from our fans later with something we were talking about earlier. But we can roll on. No, it's pretty fun. But
we'll get to that after
this match.
Oh yeah,
I want to see this violence.
Logan. After Logan Brown removes one of Dustin Kilgore's eyeballs.
Yeah, so Dustin Kilgore probably has glass
eye
eyes.
gouge.
This is. I am not being hyperbolic. This is the dirtiest match I've ever seen.
I'd never seen it until you tweeted it out. It's pretty alarming.
It's alarming. Like if this happened now, it's kind of funny because it's not like this happened in 1994. This was like what 6-7 years ago, not that long ago. Yeah. And it's just this would never happen. I feel like it would never happen in this day and age. I feel like officiating is not near like this. But you got to watch this match. We're gonna watch it. We'll talk through it together. It's all time. Let's go.
I have another match that was really bad that I think would never happen now after this.
Okay. Well, tell me which one it was.
Oh, the Flores one when he had the concussion and he was in the semis or finals and they let him keep wrestling. Word. That was insane.
All right, here we go.
They should.
So in 1 second in, there's already been like this would have been a double technical fall for hands to the face. But just watch Logan Brown's repeated, like
they're only going to the face.
They're only going like immediately, and it's just like this the entire time. So they immediately
that set the tone for the entire match.
And at no point.
Oh, nice club. Oh,
Hard club.
Big time boxing match here.
Nice little. Brown did a nice job of getting that one last little jab in before they went off the mat.
Boom.
Oh, he's going straight to the eyes every time.
The whole time. There's not a second, move. It's just that's his go-to the entire time. It's also funny how huge Logan Brown is. He's just like significantly bigger than Kilgore here.
I feel like a knee is coming any second.
Well,
it's funny. You
mentioned that. There is a knee. There is a knee involved.
Way. My gut is right.
They had to get separated, but it's not for a while. There's a shot.
Did Logan Brown do this to everybody, or is this just like
he was pretty dirty?
Hates Dustin Kilgore type
I think
of
he was
thing?
pretty dirty.
He was dirty.
Look at this little scramble camp here.
At this scramble
He should cradle him here. He should be able to get cradle here.
Elbow deep on that.
Like he's elbow deep, crank it up on the back. He's trying. He needs to be a little. He wasn't low enough at the elbow on the knee.
So now Kilgore delivers some fantastic cross faces here. Is getting a little bit of revenge, but he only pokes the beast even further. So now Dustin's on top. He was so ferocious with his.
So bad.
No.
No.
That wasn't what he was talking about.
These don't count.
Yeah.
These don't count. It's coming.
They're coming later because he was really good at this.
This near side, just like
he just ripped your neck off.
Yeah, he just made you look hard to your left, and then near side cradle. I'm surprised he doesn't pin him here.
Really mean to people with that.
Oh man, he should pin him. So his lock is a little too high. He needs to slide that sucker down. He would have decked him for sure.
Brown's a tall dude. I think that played a part in it.
Yeah. So here we go. Boom. There's one.
Oh, that was good.
Nice.
Oh, in the form back there.
Classic power hat.
That's all legal.
All legal. Oh yeah, Kilgore is very much innocent in the if you're stacking up crimes and offenses, it's basically all Logan Brown, and Dustin Kilgore are just trying to survive.
I like this assassin combination he's throwing on there. He's just not getting it. He keeps trying to turn him before it's tight enough on the cradles and the assassins.
Yeah.
You gotta take your time. You gotta tighten it up a little bit more and then go. Just take 2 extra seconds and that's over.
Yes.
Always coaching, Ben. Always coaching.
I love it. We're learning on the fly.
Is Dustin Kilgore coaching somewhere now?
Air Force.
Oh, Air Force, nice. Oh, I got a kid going to Air Force next year.
Really?
Shout out Jack Ganos. Yeah, I think he's ranked in your rankings now.
Heck yeah.
160.
So after the ride out, the real pain begins.
Did you see Kilgore responded to a tweet?
Yeah.
Someone asked him if he remembered this match, and he goes, "Well, I about lost my eyeballs."
So the worst moment, and the moment where you'll see.
Oh, that was a hard
gosh.
One. He came back with that one a little bit.
Yeah. That's a little Buffalo Gap crossface. We had some of them country boys. They reared it back a little bit.
Mongoose, yeah.
Mongoose especially.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Mongoose, I could see him getting chipped.
He was a great cradler.
Oh,
that was his thing.
He was a great cradler because he would punch people in the face with the crossface, and then they were dazed and get locked up in a cradle.
Maybe not. Who's to say? And we haven't talked about the fact that this mat is 1 foot from walls and doors.
You'll see him, I think, in a little bit here. But yeah, I said on Twitter, Don Bradley and Yusuf Hamida would have gone through them.
Yeah, they would have straight Kool-Aid Man status.
Yeah, through the wall.
Through the wall.
Wow.
Okay, so that was, I think, 1 period.
What is this, the Massapequa Holiday Tournament?
Yes, this is in Massapequa. So here we go. Now things start to intensify immediately right to his face. Just popping him. I mean, there were...
Thomas Gilman would have invited Logan Brown out into the parking lot after this match.
Yes, it would. It's not physical. It's dirty.
Oh, right to the eye.
Right to the eye. So he's shooting now. Oh, this isn't where he gets that finish.
Look at him go immediately to the face.
Double. Boom.
The double power
What
hats.
I love is that Brown knew that was coming and just buried his face in the mat as soon as he got taken down.
Defense, covering up.
He's like, all right, I just gouged this guy 6 times. I know he's gonna crossface the crap out of me. So once again, Kilgore's on top. You got to watch this match.
Wait, does this go the distance?
Oh yeah.
It goes the distance. Oh, yeah.
It really intensifies.
Split decision, 29-28.
I actually forgot. I thought it was a DQ, and then I remembered the whole reason we're watching.
It should have been DQ'd 5 different ways.
Double DQ?
Hey,
I know. Go ahead, Ben.
You know what's so crazy is how crazy the hands of the face got for like 2 years, and now in both Folkstyle and Freestyle, and now it's just gone.
Yeah, we eliminated it.
Yeah, it was funny you say
well
that because Ty Prasman, who's a coach at SIUE, he was like, if this would have been in the hands of face era, like it would have been like the highest scoring match of all time.
Here we go, back at it.
Point.
So
right hook.
What you gotta watch
He's going straight in his eyes.
Yeah, that's it. They are the groin of the face. So he gets in on a shot. Watch right now.
All right, this is where it gets good, Ben.
All right, go back 5 seconds. We got to watch that one again. So as soon as...
That's what Lyman Good did to me. That's what Lyman Good did to me when I was
right in there.
Oh, God.
Yeah, straight in
Oh,
the
it's
eyes.
terrible.
Now watch this, Ben. Kilgore's like thinks about it for a second.
You know
what?
Oh,
I
damn.
got something for you.
God, Kilgore should have got DQ'd on that. But,
No,
I mean,
no.
are you kidding
Oh,
me?
Guys.
clean wrestling.
guys, it was deserved. It was
You don't
deserved
like tough
for him to go push.
wrestling.
Oh, God. Politics.
So this is what's great. So Kilgore does that. The Purdue coach says Kilgore should be kicked out, just completely ignoring what his guy's been doing.
Well, meanwhile, his wrestler has a human eye in his hand.
Yeah, and then you should hear the audio on this. Zeb's great on the
that
call.
was bad.
It's great.
But then Andracy, is just giving it to this official. He's like, you have to get this match under control. It's going to turn to a fist fight. And he looks at the Purdue coach. He's like, don't you agree? And the Purdue coach just kind of shrugs his shoulders. He's like, I don't know.
I like it.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so bad.
The ref just stands there. My favorite part is after it's time to start wrestling, and the ref just stands there. And Dracy is he's not holding back.
No, as he should be. It's
How
up
did
to
he
the
not
official.
How did he not get hit for
Kilgore should
control?
have got DQ'd. Kilgore should have got DQ'd.
The ref is just like, all right,
I
time for
disagree
It was
with
Bo
just
that.
a
to yell at
shove.
me.
Well, it's not like he punched
He
him.
pushed his head.
He went 7 seconds after the whistle.
I don't think that deserves
He
DQ.
walked back to center.
If he
and then
had
came back and
If he had punched him, yeah, I agree. But he
Because
just
his
pushed
eyes were
him.
getting jabbed.
well, I probably would have DQ'd or at least had points against the other guy for the eye gouge.
They gave a point. They gave a point to Logan Brown for that.
Yeah, that's the thing. After all
God.
Logan Brown is done, Kilgore's the one that gets the first penalty point.
The most hilarious part is how late in the match they actually do give Kilgore a penalty point for hands to the face
Yeah.
after he did it for 6 straight minutes.
Right.
So Kilgore is back on top, just trying to remove his face. Now they're back neutral again. At one point, Kilgore cocks back to punch him.
Where's the knee?
He's going to his eyes again.
The knee's late, but Ben would DQ Kilgore.
Yeah, Ben's trying to end the match before the knockout knee comes.
Yeah.
These are the doors we're talking about. I don't know how they didn't go through these doors ever.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
What
that
a
would've been
ridiculous
awesome.
place.
Yeah,
And
why
the
did...
setup there, because there's a little pad. If we go back, can we scroll back to the side? Because there's a little pad, but there's very clearly a cement wall, like a 1.5 feet off the mat.
Yeah.
Definitely a cement wall. We'll get back there. All right,
Here's where I think
he cocks back soon here.
Oh.
There's a little...
Yeah, there's a nice little short uppercut
That wasn't the
there.
cock back, though.
Wait, is that a pad over there? Or is that another door? The purple thing.
that's a pad.
That's
I think
a pad. This looks like this
So Kilgore literally took injury time because of his eye, and I think to try to
cool down.
cool down.
'Cause he's gonna...
Okay, you guys see the cement wall right there that they can go into, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, there's nothing... It's not safe. It's not safe at
Not
all.
safe at all. Like you could easily double like.
Look at this. This is
Look at
my
this.
favorite thing.
Back
Coach
to
Hill. Coach Hill sitting there looks
like
so in the ref. This is what he's
This
doing.
is what an eye poke is.
So these are... That's absolutely what he's doing.
Hey, keep up the
this is no joke.
You're doing great.
Man. My buddy Alan Belcher tore his retina, and I remember after that he was so sensitive over his eyes because of how much trauma that caused. The eyes are not something to be messed with.
No.
No.
French.
John Trench.
It's the worst.
So here we
John
go.
Trench, good point. Yeah.
So
All
I
right.
think this is the final period, and this things get pretty intense here too.
Yeah, as if it's not intense yet. The cockback is coming at some point. It's pretty great.
Kilgore should have just pinned him with that assassin and been done with it.
Yeah, that's the ultimate incentive to get off the mat in a hurry.
Yes. Anyone had to get poked in the eye so many times.
Well, if you're pinning him, what do you think he's going to do to you to get off his back?
Yeah, that's a good point. He's never going to be more desperate.
Occupy his hands. Well, if you cradle him, he won't be able to get your eyes. with
Poor
an inside
Dustin
cradle.
Kilgore. He's been the victim of this. He was a victim of the fish hook by Jake Varner.
Oh yeah,
Oh
Remember
my
that?
gosh,
That was
I forgot
insane.
about that.
yeah, I did too.
I mean, he's getting his shots back in,
He
though.
yeah. Remember he punched Varner, right?
Holy moly.
Yes, he definitely
And
did
then
punch
everyone
Varner.
was like, "What the heck, Dustin Kilgore?" And then we put out the video of him getting fish hooked, and they're like, "Oh, okay."
Oh, okay.
He got
Got
pushed
it.
up so
You know
hard.
what? Kilgore seems to be like he's the second actor and gets caught a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What the heck?
You got to beware.
Yeah,
that.
he
You gotta
kinda-
sneak.
Why is everyone hating on Dustin Kilgore?
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. This match
Well-
is ridiculous.
Extra
Yeah,
push from
is it-
Brown.
You see that shove?
What's the beef with these two?
I don't know.
I want to know the inside.
There's
story.
gotta be
What
a
period are
go-
we in, and what is the score?
I think it's third
like,
period. I think this might be where Kilgore cocked. Look at Kilgore. Literally
Kilgore is like
protecting his
doing
eye.
this.
The
He's
score
like,
is the score is
My
25
favorite part is the
significant
ref.
strikes.
Look how close he is to the action. He's like, okay, I'm gonna make sure they don't.
Oh,
do
he's
hands.
up in there again.
Oh my gosh,
he's in his
was he a
mouth.
fish hook there?
Yep.
Didn't see. It's hard to
Is
see.
he the most fish hook wrestler in his NCAA history? It's possible.
Look how close the official is to all the action. He's like, I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna see if there's hands to the face.
Yeah.
Like, dude, where you been this whole match?
Wow.
There's more. There's the.
He literally shot and he had a shot.
This is the knee. This is the knee right here.
He was shooting.
There's the knee. Go back.
But that wasn't high enough.
Yeah, he stopped himself.
Yeah, it wasn't.
He like started to do it.
He
and
thought
then was
another
like,
shot was coming in. He was trying to time it.
Yeah.
Whoa! He thought he was gonna shoot him off the
Is
mat.
this when he do we miss the cockback?
I'm pretty sure we already saw it. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay, hold on. Logan Brown is shooting and penetrating with his hand up in the air to try to get his eye when he's doing a penetration step.
You don't like tough wrestling.
Oh, there's another one.
God.
So he finally.
calls it.
That's the one. He's like, it's
Oh
too
my
much.
God.
Can you imagine?
This ref's terrible.
Oh God, this is awful. My
Yeah,
eyes hurt just watching this. Oh, he's going for it again, so hard.
Listen,
Oh,
at this point, you gotta.
At this point, Kilgore's literally just trying not to DQ himself.
Yes.
Like he's just like, dude, just get me out of this match.
Kilgore has a pretty decent
is
game
where-
face.
I mean, if I have to give advice to people to simmer down, people who are doing dirty stuff, you need to get them in for headlock and you just need to choke them really hard. They can't do anything to you. They can't do anything to you.
No, it's a good point.
And then
It's a great
hopefully
spot.
they're fearing for their life that they're gonna get choked out again. And
No,
and then
I
it's
would
over.
teach my kids very similar
So-
things. If a kid's getting dirty, just try to murder them.
Yeah.
You need to listen to this match with audio because you can hear Andracy at the end of this match yelling, "I hope we see you again. I hope we see you again."
Dustin Kilgore doesn't want to see him again because he values his eyeballs.
Where he was like 12-3 major, 12-3 major. I hope we see you
I think
again.
either one of the coaches or Logan was like, "We'll see you again," and then he's like, "I hope we see you again." It was 12-3.
Yeah.
Crazy match, very crazy match. Why don't we go to some questions from friends? Being that it's 9:30 deep in the heart of Texas. Okay.
Hey.
Okay. First question. Who do you think is the better matchup for Gable Steveson? That is Gino Petriashvili or Taha Akil. So they just wrestled.
Right.
Taha this morning beat.
What tournament was this, Christian?
That was
Euros.
Euros.
Okay, got it.
So well, I guess what's your answer to that question, Ben? Who do you think he matches up better against?
I was actually going to freestylewrestling.org. That's Kozak's site.
Mm-hmm. It is.
I'm gonna go look through there. Yeah, you guys. I'm gonna go look through these guys' profiles.
Okay. Well, while you learn,
What's your answer?
I think Akul is the threat. I think he is the danger. I think he is the guy who can most challenge Gable athletically. I think he has the knockout punch of his single to a lace that's interesting. Gino, I've always been Team Akul in the Gino-Akul rivalry, even though basically the last couple of years it's been Gino that's been the champion and has gotten the better. Yeah.
So I'm on their records right now, Christian. So Gino beat him at the 2019 Worlds 6-6, but then Akul beat him 7-0 at the Europeans the same year. He beat him 2-1 at the Europeans in 18. So he's over the last three matches, he's 2-1.
Well, yes, but I think Taha won like 14, 15, 16 Worlds and Olympics, and then
Yes.
Gino won 17, 18, 19. So that's kind of what I'm basing it on.
Got it.
So, but bottom line, I think Taha is probably the bigger threat, although it kind of goes against my general principle of like, if you have two guys with similar skill sets, the guy with the better skill set is just going to win that every time. Whereas if you have the contrast, it's maybe a little less predictable. So I don't know, but that's my answer to the question.
Yeah. I can't remember if I think I asked you guys this, and I don't recall if you had the answer. I don't think you did. is the United States team going to go compete overseas prior to the World Championships? They usually do a big tournament or two. Do we have that on the schedule?
So they're going to go to Pan Am's. I believe they're going to send the ones to Pan Am's, which are in Guatemala City. Yeah, right. I know.
Yeah.
But beyond that, that may be it. They may not do another.
Really?
They may not do another tournament. That's what I heard.
Dang. Okay.
Yes. So we'll see. That sort of surprises me, though. I feel like they would want one more, like a month out or something.
Yeah, I agree.
But maybe,
especially because Pan Am's generally isn't very tough for most guys. They might be the Cuban, and then maybe one other guy at best.
Yeah.
And that's really all you're going to see at Pan Am's. Where and stylistically, a lot of the European guys are different. So I thought they would want to go over to at least one more.
Yes. From My Name is Jums, big fan of Ben. Without Ben, I wouldn't be on the path I am now in, love with wrestling again. What do you hope we all learned from your fight?
I guess the one thing I would say is, what I said first is that the only negative I could find was the potential for embarrassment, and that's not a good enough reason for me. If I have reasons on the other side, then that should not outweigh that.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Next question. Where do I want to go? Oh, I have a question. This is from Ollie to us. Ollie has a Ollie has a situation. Ollie,
all right, so we do these quirky little things in our marketing meetings, and people run the meeting, and they do little fun tasks and stuff. So our task this week is we have to find or make our background picture in the Zoom meeting a picture of our celebrity lookalike. And I need you guys' help on who you think I look like. So, Ben, if you had to say a celebrity, and the chat and everybody, Bracky, make sure you get in there and look and tweet at me all the things. Well,
but the problem is I don't know any celebrities.
You've seen celebrities.
You literally were just hanging out with celebrities.
Ben, you can't really say that anymore.
Literally, very literally, I'd be like, hey, because Tyron knows everybody, like Tyron. I think that person's famous because like a lot of people are staring at them and stuff. Like, who's that? I literally don't know. I mean, I know if we're talking about like 90s or 2000s celebrities, like when I was maybe in high school, I would know like Snoop Dogg or Mario Lopez. I know those people, but anyone current, I don't know.
So who do I look like from the 2000s?
I don't know. Kyle, help me out. You're the one.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm kind of bamboozled.
What was it? Canelo? People said Canelo.
Yeah, JD said Canelo. I'm not mad at that.
I agree. I disagree.
I say De La Hoya.
Ooh.
Oh.
I don't know how to say that.
Oh, Bill Burr.
What?
Bill Burr. I don't know what he looks
that's
like.
Cold-blooded. He's like 50.
Oh man.
I think it's the beard. I think it's a beard.
He doesn't even have a beard.
Oh,
he does sometimes.
Bill Burr. I can see Bill Burr.
Oh, now you see Bill Burr.
I can see it.
Come on, Ollie's
I'm handsome, guys.
Yeah, he's handsome.
Someone in the chat literally just said Canelo.
Let's see what's underneath the hat.
Somebody said Canelo.
Take the hat off. You need to take the hat off. You need to let it fly a little more.
He got some nice hair. Yeah, it goes side
What's he
profile.
doing?
He always hides his hair.
It's a weird move.
Guys, I'm not trying
How about a young De Niro?
Ooh.
Ooh, I'm going with that one. Yeah, like Godfather 2 look.
Which character on The Sopranos do you most resemble?
Probably Bobby Bacala.
No, you don't.
None of them. They're all like Olive.
Andrew Santino.
I've gotten that. Okay, I could go that one.
Yeah.
I've gotten
That's
that.
not funny. No one's gonna laugh.
It's the guy from
listen,
from Dave.
If you are not funny with your answer, it'd be like
oh, that's
honestly,
not bad. That's not bad.
I don't know. I get what you're saying, Christian, but I'm not just a comedy dancing monkey for flow and everybody make me laugh every time. No, sometimes I'm serious.
I like the Santino pick. That's a good pick.
Santino makes sense. Let me see.
You know what I would do?
What?
I would use yourself.
Ooh, that's a me move. That is a me move.
Just some picture you funny, or the one of you on the beach with where you don't have hair.
That one, or maybe just a screenshot of today's show.
That would be great. That would be great. Yeah. So that's something.
All right. So we got some good suggestions. Thanks, guys. See, it amounted to something.
All right, we crowdsourced it as best we can. You don't have a...
Yo, my hair is looking crazy good today.
Ben, yeah. I have one more question about the fight. Well, not really about the fight, but Tekashi 6ix9ine, he wanted to walk out with you.
Yeah, I need more on this.
And I had 3 people in a row say hell to the no. So Tyron we put on video. Mm-hmm. My other corner said the same thing, and then the one guy I own, Funky Fresh Spring Rolls, said hell, MFing no, anyone but him.
So did he DM you?
Yeah. How did you find out he wanted to?
Troller called me.
Oh, okay.
They said, hey, this would I said, let me ask, because I don't know anything about him. Let me just see what my people say. And they all said, no way. I was actually really disappointed because guy with the sign who has somehow 7.5 million followers on Instagram was supposed to walk me out. And they said, I cannot have it be a sponsor, but I can have the sign say whatever I would like it to say. And I said, okay, here's what I want. And I said, long Bitcoin, short the banks. And they said, that's fine. Then I get ready to walk out, and he doesn't have the sign. And I said, man, where's the sign? I told you what sign I wanted. And the sign guy is a Bitcoiner. And he said, they told me I couldn't have it. I'm like, that's so shenanigans, because they told me that was fine.
Wow. I'm sorry. You got
I'll look into that for you.
Yeah, Bracky's going to look into that for you.
So shenanigans.
Nice thing to do. I like how Ben said he didn't know celebrities after he just met Snoop Dogg.
He talked about Snoop Dogg and Mario Lopez.
That's the 90s. That's
hanging out
the
with
90s, guys.
Getting interviewed by Pete Davidson in your locker room. And
you know what the other... there were a lot of worst parts, but one of the best parts of the thing was our guy Too Short was on there, and he did Blow the Whistle.
Mm-hmm.
Ollie, that was like our theme song for like a couple weeks.
We were bumping that.
Yeah. So that was, I don't know if that's how the song goes, but
Blow the Whistle.
That sounded like the John Cena walkout.
Yeah,
song.
that sounds like
Yeah,
Too Short is also really old.
Yeah,
he is.
He is old.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everyone that I talked to, the best part was all the old rappers that have the little group now.
Yeah.
Did you meet Bieber?
I did not meet Bieber.
Darn it.
I went to his locker room was right across from my locker room. So when I got there at 9 o'clock, I went in and I said, "Where's Biebs at?" And he wasn't there.
Yeah, he rolls up late. You know it.
Yes.
There were a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of famous people.
I love that Tyron's immediate reaction to Tekashi 6ix9ine is he's a snitch.
That's what he is. That's what everyone said that I talked to.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, you can't be affiliated with him. I wouldn't be affiliated with you. But I like your wife's answer of like, we don't want to. Oh
my gosh! I've made fun of her so hard for that.
Wait, what is that?
We don't want to be in the streets.
Because Tyron was like, you don't really care. You're not in the streets like that. And then Amy's like, well, we don't want to be in the streets.
When was this? How did I miss this?
It's this Instagram video. So I'm sitting there. Vlog guy John is there.
Yeah.
And the guy called me, and they said, "Hey, Tekashi 6ix9ine wants to walk you out." And so I texted Tyron and said, "Hey, I got an important question. Come over real quick." And so Tyron comes over, and I said, "Hey, this guy wants to," and I didn't even know his real name. I said 6x9 or something because he's got a. It's like
you
weird.
did do that. That was pretty lame, bro.
And he said,
"Stupid."
I don't. To my point, I don't know celebrities, and so Tyron said, "Hell no!" And he said, and then Tyron said, "Well, you know what? You would go really viral, and you're not really in the streets, so it doesn't really matter for you." And I start laughing, and then Amy goes, "We don't want to be in the streets." What the hell, Amy?
Oh my gosh!
I also liked him explaining to you what a thought was. That was funny.
You didn't know that, Bracky?
I mean, I did.
I know what thoughts are.
Yeah.
Shut up, Piles. You definitely didn't know.
He does. No, he does. Yeah,
he
does.
How does Pyle know that? I'm in the
that?
streets, man. I'm from Churchville, dog.
We teach him a lot. Sitting with us over there, we teach him a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of terms he doesn't know, and we catch him up, and we tell him. Never mind.
This happens all the time where I'm like, and then sometimes I get paranoid. I'll have like a day where like I'll say or like learn a couple things, and then I'll say something. I'll be like, wait, is this a thing? Because sometimes I walk right into and say unintentionally inappropriate things.
Got it.
But anyway, yeah, so I know what thoughts are, dude. So get on my level.
I had no idea.
That was so good. You guys kind of aren't saying it right either, so.
Yes, I am. Thoughts.
You're kind of saying thought, like a thought,
Thought.
but it's like a thought.
Okay.
It's a little different.
THOT is.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no U.
I didn't understand that.
Yeah. Never mind.
Thought provoking. All
All
right.
right. Wow.
Provoking for sure.
Sorry.
One more, maybe. Let's find a good one. Make it a good one.
I like this one.
Go ahead.
From Taped Laces. If you had a blank check and unlimited access to make a flow film about any topic in wrestling, what would it be?
Ooh, I know.
Long Beach High School.
Okay, you go first, Ben. I think I know mine.
I would do the Randy Lewis, Leroy Smith saga of 1984. I have been trying to get you guys to do this for a while, and I think there's just some people who don't really want to talk all that much about it.
You just summarized it. And that is it. That is it.
Dude, how amazing would that be?
Oh, it's like my pitch for it is, for why it needs to happen, is it is literal wrestling history and an untold story, basically.
Basically.
That it just exists in, kind of like secondhand, and there's some articles, and then Ryan Warner did the podcast, but it's like there's so much more to it, and
so much more.
I think it needs to happen. I think not only does that story just on its own deserve to be told, and I get why there's reservations around it and why they're like, let's not bring up old stuff, but I think it is an important story, and more than anything, maybe not more than anything, but it is one of the things that launched John in his competitive spirit, and what.
Oh, really? Because
yeah,
he says Leroy got cheated. I'm assuming.
Basically, that inspired him and fired him up.
Really?
And more, not that he wasn't beforehand, but it was something that ignited a spark that lit the world on fire for 6 years. And he left the GOAT, and he beat Randy Lewis to make the team. Then 4 years later,
that part is so crazy too.
That's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And
there's so much wrestling royalty involved is the other thing.
Yeah.
Like crazy amount.
It's some of the biggest names of all time.
And it ignited the Iowa-Oklahoma State rivalry to become what it became, right? It was a rivalry at that point, but then it took on new levels. So that is the answer for me as well. And yeah, we're not giving up for sure.
Yeah, we don't have too much time left in that one because it's 36 years old, and I actually think some of the participants of that stuff aren't still around, right?
Yeah, I think the major players are obviously still around and very well acquainted with the, one side of it really wants to talk about it badly, but it would be sort of strange to tell the story from only one perspective.
You got to have both sides participating.
Absolutely. So, that's for us to worry about. But yeah, that's a great answer. It's a good place to end. So we will go. Only 2 shows this week. Today and tomorrow. We thank you guys so much for listening. We thank you for tuning in. We're going to have a fun week of wrestling. A lot of stuff, a lot of events, especially up in Wisconsin. We can't wait to get there. We'll have some more discussion about it tomorrow. Thank you guys so much. Thanks to Ben, Oliver, and Kyle. We'll be back. See you, and thank you. Goodbye.